Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Read this headline and just had to stop and hit record. Check this out. Veterans could get free gun safes. Hey, I'll take it. Let's jump into this. I'm going to go ahead and go through this, see what's going on, how this could potentially happen, and, oh, by the way, it would be a law. All right, so let's jump into it. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. All right, if you want to support the channel in other ways, consider being a member. You can do that by going to the homepage. You'll see highlighted members and a join button. Thank you so much. All right, so veterans could get free gun safes. It's plural. I don't know. Maybe you got a lot of guns. So could get free gun safes under suicide prevention proposal introduced in the House. Before I go any further, if this is something that you support, probably you should reach out to your congressional member. Let them know that you support this piece of legislation. Hopefully they'll give us the name of it as we move through. All right. Moves on. Any veteran who wants a lockbox to store their firearm would be able to get one for free from the Department of Veterans Affairs under a bipartisan bill introduced in the House on Wednesday aimed at curbing veteran suicides. The bill, which has won the endorsement of a firearms industry group in addition to gun control groups, builds off an existing pilot program at the VA that provides lockboxes to at-risk veterans. I wasn't even aware of that one, to be honest with you. So there was already a pilot program that rolled out. Moving on, I hear colleagues all the time talk about veteran suicide. Representative Chris DeLuzio, a Navy veteran and one of the lead sponsors of the bill, said in a brief interview with military.com, and that's, by the way, what I'm reading off of here, "It is a problem in my community. It's a problem across the country. Let's take action. This is a chance where we can do it." That I think, let's see, what do you say here? This is a chance where we can do it that I think can cut through the politics that normally divide us on these gun issues. And I think the coalition supporting the bill tells you we've got a path to pass it. All right, that's pretty great. So again, I didn't really read any sort of name of it yet, and we'll find out. In addition to DeLuzio, the bill is sponsored by Reps Fitzpatrick and Landsman. All three are considered moderates within their parties and are in somewhat competitive re-election races. As the veteran suicide rate remains stubbornly high, the VA has focused heavily in recent years on promoting safe gun storage. The veteran suicide rate continues to outpace civilian suicide deaths, and firearms continue to be the leading cause of death by suicide among veterans. The VA's most recent suicide report found that 73% of male veteran suicide deaths and 52% of female deaths were with a firearm. Research has shown that making it harder to access a gun can prevent suicide deaths. But studies have also shown that about half of the veterans with guns are not storing them safely. The VA has been providing free cable locks for guns to any veteran who wants one since 2013 and 2021. The department began airing public service announcements and posting billboards to encourage safe storage of firearms as part of the broader administration effort to curb veteran and active active service member suicides. The department also announced earlier this year that it would begin providing gun lockboxes for qualifying veterans who want them. The existing program offers the safes to veterans enrolled in VA healthcare whom doctors assess are at a moderate to high risk for suicide. The bill from DeLuzio, Fitzpatrick, and Landsman, dubbed the Saving Our Veterans Lives Act. Saving Our Veterans Lives Act would make the lockboxes available to any veteran regardless of VA enrollment status or diagnosis, and set aside $5 million every year for the next 10 years to implement the law. Veteran suicide, we know, is a national crisis, and we know that suicide by firearms is a major factor in suicides. It moves on to say that we think we have the evidence this can work. Let's get VA the resources now to get lockboxes to more veterans who want them. The bill would also direct the VA to create a public education campaign on the availability of lockboxes and the importance of secure firearms storage in regard to suicide prevention. Moving on, historically, efforts to promote gun safety among veterans and service members have evoked the, the ire of gun rights groups that maintain the efforts are basically veiled gun control measures. For example, a provision included in the 2022 version of the Annual Defense Policy Bill to offer gun safes and locks to service members prompted a lobbying campaign from groups such as the Gun Owners of America that argued the provision would be used to justify extreme gun control. And look, I get it. There's this weird slippery slope, right? How far do you go? Now, I'm going to throw this out there. It's not mandated, right? So it's not a mandated thing. What it is it's if you want this, you can go get one. And if you don't, that's fine too. So if it was mandated, that would be a different, a whole different can of worms, in my opinion. Moving on, that lobbying campaign was unsuccessful, and the provisions was included into the version of the defense bill that was signed into law. There are signs that expanding the VA's firearm lockbox program can overcome typical gun politics too. The version of the 2025 VA spending bill approved by the House earlier this year includes $3 million to bolster the VA's existing lockbox program. The committee supports VA's efforts to address veteran suicide prevention, and the firearm lockbox program is a critical element. A report about the spending bill from the GOP-led House Appropriations Committee said, the new bill from Deluzio, Fitzpatrick, and Landsman has garnered the endorsement of the National Shooting Sports Foundation, or the NSSF, a firearms trade group that has partnered with the VA on secure storage and suicide prevention, but has also been critical of the VA's approach to guns in other areas. Gun owners have a responsibility to securely store their firearms when not in use, to make sure they are inaccessible to those who should not possess them, including someone experiencing a mental health crisis. NSSF Senior Vice President said in a statement released by Deluzio's office, responsible firearm storage can create time and space between a person in crisis and a gun. That extra minute or so helps for clarity, right? Other groups that have endorsed the bill include veterans groups such as the Disabled American Veterans, the American Legion gun control groups such as Giffords, Everytown for Gun Safety, and Brady, and medical groups such as the American Psychology Association, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and Association of VA Psychologist Leaders. This common sense bipartisan initiative is more than a solution, it's a lifeline, Fitzpatrick said in a statement. By providing access to life-saving resources, we can prevent devastating outcomes and stand with our veterans as they navigate their darkest hours. Service members or veterans experiencing a mental health crisis or their loved ones can call the Veterans Crisis Line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 988, then press 1. Help is also available online at veteranscrisisline.net/chat, or you can text at 838-255. 838-255. Look, if you or a loved one, not in this moment, but maybe in the future, you may feel as though you need to reach out, just store that number in your phone, right? If you need to do a text, you can shoot a text. The 988, it's easy to remember, but, in a time in crisis, you're wondering, is it 988? What was it? I got to look it up. Just save it in your phone. And then you got 988 saved as the call number, then press 1, and then you got the text number at 838-255. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.